Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. We're just doing a little sports talk today. Hope we're all doing well. Let's jump right in. We got a lot to cover today. We got the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. We got some baseball. We might talk some football. We got a golf tournament on. So let's jump right in. NBA playoffs. We did not have any games last night. That's so dumb. Why was there no games last night? First of all, you skipped last night, and then Friday you put the two most least interesting series of the four that are on, Heat and Sixers and Suns and Mavericks. They look like they might be sweeps right now. You got Warriors, Grizzlies looks like a 7-game classic, and then you got Celtics Bucks looks like it should be a real good series, at least be a real good solid 6-game series, hopefully. And you don't put those games on, and also those four teams are the ones that are more rested. So that doesn't make any sense. That's very bad scheduling by the NBA. But tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, ESPN, we have Heat and Sixers. He got 2-0. Joel Embiid might have a shot to play. Missed the first 2 games with the orbital fracture and the concussion-like symptoms. Of course, he's been battling the thumb injury throughout the playoffs as well. He passed one step of the concussion protocol, so he may have a chance to play. He was listed as out on the official injury report. The reports, if he clears certain protocols, he may be able to be upgraded. Supposedly, they're trying to get a face mask fitted for him. God forbid if he were to get hit in the face, doesn't further damage his current head injury. So he might have a shot to play, but he also might not play. So that's big. If MB plays, Sixers may have a shot to win. If not, they're going to have a really hard time. If they go down 3-0, you could probably get your brooms out, or at least you could bet that it's going to be a 5-game series. Here, going to easily move on. If MB does play, they might win. If they can get to 2-1, now they have a shot. Suns Mavericks are on at 9:30 on ESPN. Suns are 2-0. That series might looks kind of over, honestly. Suns have really dominated the first 2 games. I mean, game 1 was only a 7-point game. Even game 2, they already pulled away in the second half. First half was close, but Luka's putting up huge numbers. He's putting up 30, 35, 40 plus points. He's grabbing 10 rebounds, passing the ball 7, 8, 9 assists, and Dallas still can't really get all that close. That series might be over. But that's what we got for the NBA playoffs tonight. Celtics and Bucks, by the way, are tied at 1 apiece, and as are the Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors, which we will see on Saturday. In the NHL, postseason continues for the first round. We had some good games on last night. The Rangers, even with the Penguins, win 5-2 in game number 2. Big win for them. By the way, Penguins, some goalie injuries. Obviously, they've been in fact Tristan Jarry the first 2 games. He's out at the beginning of the series with an injury. Their backup, Casey DeSmith, who got hurt in game 1, did not play in game 2. He has been ruled out for the rest of the series. He came out with a groin injury in game 1. He just had core muscle surgery, which will keep him out for the rest of the series and probably the rest of the postseason. That being said, that probably won't matter because I do think the Rangers will win the series. As a Ranger fan, I hope they win the series. But Rangers win 5-2 last night. Interesting to see who starts game 3, which I believe is on Saturday. Will it be Deming or will it be Jarry? Mike Sullivan, the Penguins head coach, said they could see him at some point later on in the series. So game 3, be saying later on, could be tough. I think if he had Casey DeSmith healthy, a guy he's been the backup for the whole year. He's played some hockey throughout the season. He played well in game 1. Then you probably wouldn't rush him back. I would say game 4 probably the earliest he comes back. The series tied at 1. Having said, Louis Domingue, who's a career third-string goalie. He's better off being in the minor leagues. I'm not sure if he played a single game this year. He may have played 5 or 6 games this year. Never played in the playoffs. Only playoff game he ever played in was 5 years ago in the AHL. He's never played in the playoffs in the NHL. You wonder, do they rush Jarry back? I don't think they will. If they're down 2-0, I think they would have said, we're going to rush him back. He might not be even 50%, but they would probably rather Tristan Jarry, who was an all-star this year, was a very good starting goalie in this league. He's got some playoff experience. They'd rather him at 40, 50% than Louis Domingue, who's a third-string goaltender. He's not any good. Although I do think he held his own. He gave up 5 goals, but I thought he held his own. He made 17 saves on 17 shots in about a period and a half in the first game. And then, he got 5 goals, but the Rangers also had 35 shots. He did make 30-plus saves. He had a couple of really good saves. The Rangers could have 7 or 8 goals last night and stay at 5. So I thought he did do a good job. I I give respect to him, even as a Ranger fan. He did a good job. The Penguins' defense isn't exactly, fantastic. Now, we're saying since it's 1-1, if they were to start Domingue and they lose Game 3, they can still feel comfortable. All right, it's still 2-1. We're still at home in Game 4. Obviously, if you lose Game 4, you go down 3-1, and now you're going back to the Garden. That's a very, very, very tough spot to be in, so I would think he would play Game 4. But I think Game 3 will be Domingue. They don't want to rush Jerry back, because he appears to be their goalie of the future. So they want to have Jerry really hurt himself really bad, where he misses time into next year. So I think they'll probably start Domingue Game 3. Honestly, if the Penguins were to win Game 3, which I don't think they will, I hope the Rangers win. I think the Rangers will win Game 3. But if the Penguins do win in Game 3, I guess it's Domingue go in Game 4. Worst case scenario, now you go back to the Garden at 2-2, and now you put Jerry in Game 5. I think that could work out. But if the Rangers win Game 3 and go up 2-1, I think we'll see Jerry in Game 4. Because now you're running the risk of losing both games at home and going back to the Garden down 3-1. That would be a nightmare for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I think it'll be Domingue Game 3. No only time will tell. We'll see what happens. We have the Panthers get payback on the Capitals. They win 5-1, even up that series. Avalanche beat the Predators 2-1 in overtime. Cal Knocker with a gorgeous game winner in that one. Nathan McKinnon had a nice goal. You got Ingram, the rookie goalie from Nashville, starting playing up the injured Lucy Saros. He had a fantastic performance. He had 41 saves in a row at one point. He had some marvelous saves last night. Kudos to him. But Colorado does go up 2-0. Tough loss for the Nashville Predators. And the Stars, they end up seeing the Calgary Flames. They win Game 2, 2-0. Joe Pavelski had a nice goal in that game. As for tonight, Hurricanes and Bruins. Penguins up 2-0. We got that is at 7 o'clock on TNT. 7:30 on TBS. We got Maple Leafs Lightning Game 3. That series is tied at 1 apiece. Been interesting. Game 1, Toronto dominated 5-0. Tampa got payback, winning 5-3 in Game 2. That's a big game. Wild and Blues Game 3, 9:30 Eastern Time, TNT. That's a really good series. 2 top 4 teams in the West. And then the nightcap at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on TBS is Oilers and Kings, Game 3. That series is tied at 1 apiece. That's an interesting series because Oilers are probably a little bit better team than the Kings. I mean, they got the two best players in the world, arguably, and Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. But the Oilers can't win a first-round playoff series for their life, and the Kings got a lot more experience. And, they won the Cup in 2014, also won, I think, in 2012. I mean, their coach, Daryl Sutter's not there anymore. They still have a couple guys that are there. Dustin Brown's still there. Doughty's hurt, but their goalie's still there. So, Andrei Kopitar's still there. So, that's an interesting series. Big game for there tonight. All right, let's go to the MLB. We had a bunch of games last night. Let's start with the Mets and the Phillies. Phillies were up 7-1 going into the top of the 9th inning, and the Mets came back, scored 7 runs in the top of the 9th to win it. What a comeback for the Mets, 8-7. Big choke job from the Phillies, giving up 7 runs in the 9th inning. Corey Knebel, my goodness, he got rocked. What a comeback for the Mets, 19-9. I believe they have the best record in baseball, at least in the National League. Orioles beat the Twins 5-3. Astros over the Tigers 3-2. Padres over the Marlins 2-1. Rays over the Mariners 4-3. Cardinals over the Giants 7-1. We got the Guardians over the Blue Jays 6-5. Rockies over the Nationals 9-7. Brewers over the Reds 10-5. Angels shut out the Red Sox 8-0. Trevor Story got booed in that game. He got booed. He's hitting just .210 with 29 strikeouts over his first 21 games. And he's been hitting at a leadoff spot, too. Alex Cora, the manager, said that he understands the boos. He knows the fans hold a certain standard for their player. He said, Story holds the same standard for himself. He's working hard. He's handled it well. And he is considering making a lineup change. Because Story hitting at a leadoff spot has not worked so far. And the Reds are 10-16 right now. Really struggling. Their pitching, which already came into the year, not the best staff in the world, is down there against Chris Sale. So I think that's hurting them. And Trevor Story, their big offseason acquisition, they spent $140 million on him. He's a really good shortstop. Played for the Colorado Rockies for all those years, last bunch of years. Has really struggled since he got to Boston. So they're in a tough spot. Let's glance at the standings. Obviously so early. Twins have been a big surprise. 15-11, first place in the American League Central. Tigers are really struggling. They're 8-6 team of Tigers. I wasn't sure if they would make the playoffs this year, but I thought they'd be at least over 500 this year. They look pretty good. They're struggling. Yankees look great, 18-7. Toronto also looks really good. Toronto's only lost one series this year. They're 16-10. between 16 and 11. Rays are starting to find their groove a bit. They're 16-10. Boston's the same record as Baltimore, 10-16. They're struggling. The Angels, 17-10, second best in the American League. Wow, they're playing great right now. Nationally, we got the Mets. My New York Mets are playing great, 19-9, best record in baseball. Huge comeback win last night. That was absolutely incredible. You know, in the Central, Brewers 18-8 they look great. Cardinals are playing very well, 15-10. I mean, Cardinals they always find a way. I didn't think they'd make the playoffs this year, but they might prove me wrong. They look really good. I'm not even going to talk about the Reds, by the way. 3-22 have lost 9 in a row. Since that guy threw up on himself, they've lost 20 of 21, I think, which is pretty funny. 3-22. They might be the worst team I've ever seen. I think they'd be bad. I think they'd be like a 72, 73 win team. They lost a lot of pieces this offseason. You know, their owners, trying to, defend him basically tanking. The organization's a joke right now. But my God, 3-22. I think they'd be this bad. They might be a 30-win team. They look so bad. And at least it's looking like a bit of a joke besides the Mets. Marlins, who were off to a great start, but they've lost 5 in a row. They had that long win streak. They've lost 5 in a row since. A game below 500, 12-13. Braves, I think they're still trying to find their oats kind of thing. I know they replaced Freddie Freeman with Matt Olson, who's probably almost as good as Freddie Freeman. I think a top 5 first baseman in the league. Behind probably for maybe 3 or 4 other guys, well, including Freddie Freeman, but he's still a really good player. They just missed the leadership aspect of him. Also, they didn't have Ronald Acuna the first 2 weeks. Just got him back a couple games ago. He's not even playing outfield full time right now. He's DHing sometimes, so I could definitely see once Acuna gets his legs under him, them starting to improve, and they can interrogate the post Freddie Freeman era. They can really realize Freddie's not here anymore. We got to pick up the slack. They can start playing better. I can see them even still winning the division, but the Mets look head and shoulders right now. Phillies are a bunch of chokers. They're a joke. 11-15 every year. Like, oh, we got this great lineup. We got Bryce Harper and all these other pieces. This year they brought in Schwarber. They brought in Castellanos. You still got Reese Hoskins. You still got Real Muto. Alec Boehm could be a bounce-back candidate. D. Gregorius could be a bounce-back candidate. Gene Segura's a good player. Had a good year last year. Rotation actually looks pretty good. You got Wheeler's a stud. Nola when healthy is a Cy Young. Kyle Gibson's pretty good. Even Zach Eflin's pretty good. Ranger Suarez can eat some innings. He pitched well last year. But it's always the bullpen. The bullpen screws them over every year. You got to be going on at least 5 years at this point. I mean, they made some additions. You brought in Corey Knebel to close. You brought in some other guys. But they just didn't do enough. Their bullpen is still terrible. And Corey Knebel, he had that one great year for the Brewers as their closer. Besides that, he's had trouble staying on the field, and he's been much more mediocre. He's fit better as like a middle relief guy. Not as your closer. I don't think he's a very good closer. And I'm trying to think of the other guys on their team. They have a couple of talented relievers who aren't bad. Like Soriaki Dominguez is bad. He's pretty good, but their bullpen is terrible. Their bullpen is absolutely horrible. It screws them every single season. Every year. I'm starting to wonder if Joe Girardi is going to be the guy they point the finger at. I mean, he's been here. It's his 3rd season now. They've had big expectations since he came here. They have yet to make the playoffs. Probably won't make the playoffs again this year. I did think they're going to make it going into the year, though I thought they'd be very competitive. And they've been competitive. They're 11-15. They're not awful. It's so early still, obviously. I'm not saying that they're completely done this early in the season. You can't really say about anybody this early in the season for baseball because of how many games there are. But they just don't look good at all. That looks like a team that looks like a 75-win team that's going to be sellers at the trade deadline. They're just not any good at all. I mean, their lineup's very good. They got a lot of talented hitters. And even their rotation, I don't really think is the problem. I'm not sure what their numbers are for the rotation, but on paper, the rotation actually looks pretty solid. It's just their bullpen is garbage. It's straight trash. That's just a fact. Bullpen's terrible. We'll see what happens over there, but I think the Phillies are in trouble. At least with the Marlins, they're off to a hot start. And that's a team that's still very young, so they have time. If they don't make the playoffs this year, it's not a big deal. Atlanta, it's understandable. They just got Acuna back. They're still transitioning in the post-Freddie Freeman era. So it makes sense. It could take them a few weeks to get their legs under them, especially for short spring training. A team like that really affects them the most. And Washington's not an 8 team. We knew they were going to be bad. They blew up that team last year. They added a couple guys this year, but even the guys they added, Cesar Hernandez, Nelson Cruz, probably won't be there by August when it comes to the trade deadline. See, like I said, I wish I could have seen your reaction before and after the top of the ninth last night. Seeing that game before, I was like, oh my God, Taiwan Walker's getting absolutely smacked. This is his first start in 2 weeks. They're going to get crushed. Oh, this is tough. And then ninth inning comes around. Lindor took the home run. It's like, oh, 7-3. All right. At least they'll put up a fight. Hopefully this gets Lindor out of his slump. Then Mark Conniff of the infield hit, make it 7-4. I'm like, oh, okay. Now we're talking. And then more guys keep getting on base. I'm like, oh, we got a shot. And then before you knew it, J.D. Davis, RBI double, 7-5. Nimmo, 2-run single, tied game. I screamed when that happened. And when Starling Marte hit that double to take the lead, I was through the roof. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible last night. They go with the NL East, get teams that aren't that good. I mean, the Marlins are right. 12-13, if they ever expect it to be a mediocre team, people are hyping them up to make the playoffs. I don't think that'll happen. They'll be a 500 team, I think, but nothing more than that. They lost 500 after a hot start, but they can still find themselves again. And also, they're still in a rebuild. Like I said, the Braves are still in a bit of a transition. With Freddie Freeman gone, they just got Acuna back. Washington's rebuilding, but the Phillies, they're kind of they're stuck in the middle. Like they're not like in a rebuild, so like them losing a lot, you really can't be satisfied with that. But like even without all the issues I just named, like are we really going to say they were a playoff team coming into the year? I thought they'd be like an 83-win team, something like that. But I did not think they would make the playoffs going into the year. But they look a lot worse than I thought. No, I mean 11-15 isn't horrendous. But they just don't look good. I'm sorry, they just don't. That's my thoughts on the National League East. You got the Los Angeles Dodgers look really good, 16-7. No surprises there. Padres look great, 17-9. Kudos to Bob Melvin keeping that team together without Fernando Tatis Jr. Colorado Rockies, 15-10. They were a good baseball team so far. I don't think it'll last, but they look good so far. Then you got the Giants and D-backs that are right below them. So that's the MLB landscape. Welcome in C-Mac and R.C. Milton. We are live on Colorcast, and these two guys come on my show all the time. Thank you guys for popping in. I talked about some NBA playoffs, some NHL playoffs, and now some MLB. I was just ranting a bit about how good the Mets are so far and their comeback last night and how bad the Philadelphia Phillies are this year. I also talked about how bad the Cincinnati Reds are this year because they look like the worst baseball team I have ever seen in my entire life. All right, we got a golf tournament going on right now. The Wells Fargo Championship. Right now, Jason Day is leading. He shot 7 under yesterday. He shot 3 under today. He's 10 under. He's got a 3-shot lead over Max Homa right now. Joel Dahmen shot 5 over, so he's now 9 shots back. He went from at one point he was a leader. He was a leader at one point in the first round yesterday. Ended up 4 back when the round was over. Now he's 9 back. He shot 5 over 75. But Jason Day leads by 3 shots right now. RC saw Sergio back from the rules, but he's talking about, I know I actually see it, but I know he said, like tired of this tour. Yeah, he might be going to the Saudi Arabian tour or the senior tour or something soon. He might be leaving the PGA Tour based on his comments. We'll see, but yeah, Jason Day leads the Wells Fargo Championship by 3 shots right now. We got some guys that are just starting, though. You got Danny McCarthy and Matthew Wolff are just in their first 3 holes. They're 5 back. You got Kurt Kitayama, who's 4 back. He's still got like 2 holes to play. So a lot of golf left to play. Of course, we still got the weekend. It's a pretty significant tournament. The Wells Fargo at TPC Ponmac. Next week, we got the Brian Nelson. In the following week, we have the PGA Championship, which should be a lot of fun. All right, there isn't too much NFL news. I think rookie camps are getting started soon. Training camps will be starting soon. Should be another fun season. I thought last season was a really fun season. The playoffs were fantastic. We'll see where that goes. I'll talk about NFL a little more in depth when we have some more news. And, of course, when the season's around the corner, I'll probably do a show kind of predicting what I think will happen this season. I'll go division by division. Maybe I'll pick my Super Bowl champion and things like that. I'll pick my awards and things like that. But other than that, I think that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you, RC and CMAC, for tuning in. Tomorrow, I should be back at about 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, so long, and have a great day.